Okay, now can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Today I'm going to talk about what is crypto economy. In the first session, we saw Nabil explain very well about the blockchain, what is the technology behind the blockchain, and how this blockchain is booming nowadays, and many people, they talk about the blockchain. Do you have Bitcoin? Do you have any cryptocurrency? And many things like that. And now we want to see why we have this crypto economy and why it's become important, and why we should put it in under my radar, even if it's not, let's say, even if we are not investing actively, why we should invest on this crypto economy, and why we're living in this crypto era. A brief about myself for those who don't know me. I did my master in computer network and information security exactly in the year when Bitcoin was born, and it was passing its first year of its birthday. I did my PhD in telecommunication here in Italy, in Politecnico di Milano, and here I did my postdoc with the same group of Nabila and Professor Klaus Pahl for the in the field of computer science and 5G Carmen. Then I moved to the crypto and crypto economy. In case you found my presentation interesting, you can get in touch with me through this QR code. You can find all of my social media. Through this link, you can have this QR code. If you want to leave me an email, okay, the email exists here. Then a brief about the research topic now I'm interested are listed here, and mostly now I'm working on the distributed ledger technologies, blockchain, crypto economy. What I'm going to talk about within this, let's say, less than 1 hour, I'm going to talk about the blockchain in a nutshell. What Nabil explained, I'm not going to explain it and repeat it again. I'm mostly going to talk about what is money, and what is the relation of the blockchain and money. What is the money evaluation about the digital currency, about the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and why Bitcoin price from a fraction of cent it raised to the current price. I don't know if any one of you knows the price of Bitcoin today. Any idea today how much is the Bitcoin price?
I think it's around 55,000.
Okay, then it seems you are tracking the market.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Good. Okay, then I'm not going to explain about the blockchain, since we saw in the previous time about the blockchain and what is blockchain. Just a brief things about the blockchain. We saw about, we have a block, okay, which is important for us. We have the ledger, and this ledger must be distributed. Then we have the transaction, okay, and this transaction must be confirmed through some devices, which we call them as a miner. And the consensus here, we have works based off the proof of work, and if everything goes well, those miners which they did the correct transaction and confirmation, they will receive this block reward. Okay, about the money, our ancient people start with the barter. Okay, they start with the barter, then we went for the gold bar and the metal coin, and then paper money. And nowadays, mostly we use paper money and plastic card, which we call the credit card or the debit card with the consortium of the Visa or the MasterCard or even Maestro or the other consortium which there exist. Then the next one was the digital money, which this digital money also exists in this plastic card because plastic card, they have a sort of digital money because money went digitalized and inserted into this system and this card. And we use, now also we use this PayPal to transfer money. The next phase is this cryptocurrency. Is it correct if we call it currency? I mean, it is not really correct because it's not currency, okay? It is current, but it's not currency. Is it crypto? Yeah, of course, it's crypto. For me, the correct form to call it, it's crypto assets because mostly we use them as assets. Okay, you know, the first things first, we start with the debt. Okay, our ancient, they start to have a debt and they borrow. Okay, it was the first form of the money. Okay, I said I gave a tomato to my neighbor, and okay, now I have in my ledger my neighbor owes me a tomato. Okay, it was the first form of the money in, like, let's say years ago. And then we start with the barter. Okay, we exchange our goods together. We pass the fish, receive the meat. Okay, but it was not sufficient to have a proper economy. We couldn't come to the agreement. Is it fine the 1 hour work for the, I mean, fishing with the 1 hour work for the, I mean, for farming? Are they equal or no? Then it was many problems. Another problem, it was not really easy to transfer this money from one geographical area to another place. Then people, they start to found new achievement, which the first one of the first, let's say one of the first form of money was a seashell. Okay, in Africa, in Asia, they use seashell as a first form of money. Can you imagine? This one was money, and people they did the trade with that. Okay, but now for us is not useful. Salt also was money. Okay, pepper was money. Okay, but there are many problems behind of these form of let's say money or currency, because if they could hold it for a while, then they expired, it become useless, and then people, they cannot, I mean, it couldn't hold the, let's say, it couldn't hold the value for a long time. Then they become more, let's say, more intelligent, and they start to find some scarce asset, like some scarce metal asset, because shells was, okay, scarce, but it was not really scarce. Then they start to use copper and the silver and gold. Then, but it was heavy for transportation. Okay. Then they said, okay, instead of this bar of gold, this form of gold, we can have a coins. They start to have a gold as a, let's say, as a first, one of the first form of the real money and currency. Here in these two coins, you can see difference. You know, what was the first security aspect with the coin? It was this, you can see in the edge of the coin, okay, we have some cutters, and these are what the first form of the security for the coins. This coin, it doesn't have, this one, it doesn't have this security part. Then people, they start to cut from side of the coin, and then with the many of these coins, they start to build a new coin. Okay, then the government in that time they realized people they cheat, and then they start to add these things on the edge of the each coins. Then they said, okay, if we want to go from one city to another city, one country to another country, is not safe and is not convenient to hold the money, and I mean these let's say this gold money, and to go to another city, because you know many thieves are on the way, many people they can steal their money, okay, and it was not safe. Then they decided, okay, instead of sending money, okay, and I mean holding money and transferring money, why not we use it to exchange people? Because in the first form, it was some exchanges in one city and another exchange for another person in another country or another city. They decided, okay, we can have a sort of relationship between us, among us. Then I can write a piece of paper and I say, okay, this person, okay, gave me 1,000 coin, and this piece of paper has a value of the 1,000 coin. If you submit this one to the another person, okay, then you can receive the same amount of coin minus the exchange fee from the other exchange in the next country. Therefore, the first form of banknotes come to the world, and we saw it was in China, and Chinese they start to use this first form of the money, or let's say now we should call it from now on not money, we should call it currency. Then fiat money, after that one the government they start to make okay the same procedure. Then we can see for a long time we didn't have that much improvement for the form of money. For a long time we used this paper banknote as a currency, and when we need to go from one country to another country, we have to hold it with us and take it with us, and to use it over there. And the people they start to say, okay, the money of one country has this much power in compared to the other country. Then after that, this form of the plastic card, this Visa, Master, they start to make like a connect different banks, and they make a one circle, and through that we could pass the asset value, which it was this money. And now we are in the generation of the PayPal, and we use PayPal and plastic card every time. And when we need to buy, I mean, something on Amazon, something online for our online shopping, we mainly use this PayPal and plastic cards. Okay, then we need a bit go back to talk about the form of money as a fiat. Just if you want to know, this currency here we have, and I mean euro, dollar, yen, and whatever currency every word in the world we use, we call it as a fiat currencies. Okay, it has the story after, I mean, the Second World War, the global economy, they realized, okay, economy cannot work in the previous way, and they have to change it. They start to change it to the dollar backed by gold. Then in the Bretton Woods Consortium, an agreement, they made the dollar backed by gold, and it was dollar was representing the gold, and each banknote of the dollar was like a receipt of that same amount of gold in the US Treasury. Okay, but unfortunately in 1971, okay, year 1971, the President Nixon decided to remove gold as a backed of dollar. Then we can see what happened with the economy of the US. But US was, in that time, was the world leading, even now is a world leading. Of course, many countries now beating US economy, but still US economy is the greatest, the biggest, let's say, economy in the world. And we can see this is the amount of inflation we have. But what is inflation? It means if you have $1 now, tomorrow must have the same value as today. Okay, but here we can see from 1913, okay, the value of the dollar is going down and down, and the value of, I mean, the real value, the value of the work, the value of the gold, the value of whatever you do is going high. And why this is happening? This is important to know, okay? The main reason is scarcity of the asset, okay? Here we can see when Nixon says, okay, in 1971, after Nixon said, okay, we removed, okay, the gold from back of the let's say dollar, it went drastically. In 1973, $1 worth was like 30 cents, but in 2013, the worth of the $1 was less than 5 cents, and now even is much lower. Here we can see, okay, amount of money, amount of the money, I mean, in a dollar in circulation is raising, okay, and then just imagine in this way: you have $1, your friend has $1, you want to go to the bar or to the, I mean, bakery or wherever, and you want to buy a piece of bread, okay, and that person wants to sell it higher, okay, and you both willing to pay $1, okay, and that person wants to increase it, then you have like a $2, okay, both you increase it by the double, but for the same bread you must pay like a 2. This is the simple explanation of the inflation. You have an asset which is not scarce. Everyone has an access. During the pandemic, American system, they printed 30% more. What does it mean? It means they propose many inflation in the coming years. Okay, it means if you have a 1,000 euro in your bank account, it will be impacted with this 30% more inflation. Okay, in this chart, what I want to show, you can see in 1971, after Nixon removed the gold back from the dollar, the price of the gold went high drastically, like 5,000% higher. Okay. What does it mean? It means if you had the same amount of dollar and the same amount of gold you want to buy, you have to pay 5,000% more to have the same amount of gold. Okay, and this is happening. If you know Robert Kiyosaki, he always talks about the good money and bad money. He called gold as a good money and the dollar and euro and yen as a bad money. Then this one is a price of the gold in a vice versa. I just reverse the chart to see how the price of dollar is going down in compare. Here we can see how the price of dollar is going down in compared to the 1 ounce of gold. Okay, we saw about the dollar, but what about the euro? This is the most updated one I found in internet. How inflation earns the value of 1 euro over the time. It means if you hold 1 euro in 2000, and okay, now we are in 2021 and almost 2022, you can see if you hold the euro for your pension, you will be the loser, okay? Because it's lost its value by minus 30%. But why? because euro will be printed by EU and they can print it as much as they want, okay? Then it doesn't make sense to hold the one asset which it goes low and low in terms of value. Of course, euro is good if you want to do for, I mean, day trading, for your shopping, for these things. It is good, okay? It's acceptable across European countries. It is good, but it cannot hold the value for you. If you want to hold the value for your pension, euro, dollar, or any form of fiat money, it is not good at all. Okay, this is, we can see from 2007, almost 2006, 2007, if you hold the euro or the same amount of gold, we can see, okay, this much of almost 300% lower. Okay, it means you lost by 1/3 of your value of the asset. Then in 2008, as Nabil mentioned, some pseudo name, group of people, person, she, he, nobody knows, put everything in terms of security, in terms of computer science, in terms of the economy all together. And he introduced some peer-to-peer electronic cash system, okay, and called it as a Bitcoin. And this Bitcoin, it was in January 2009, the Genesis block recorded, and from that time, it's working non-stoppable and till now is going on. I took this screenshot just now before we start this presentation and this webinar. We can see we have more than 15,000 crypto assets, which they are claiming we are the new Bitcoin. It was a fashion for years. We are the new Bitcoin. We are the new Bitcoin. Okay, but none of them they can replace the Bitcoin till now. And this market has a market cap of $2 trillion, more than $2 trillion. And in the last 24 hours, it has this much of volume. But the important part is here. Bitcoin itself, out of these more than 15,000 crypto assets, has a more than 41% of this market cap. And Ethereum, as a second one, has like more than 20%. It means this market, which it has more than 15,000 crypto assets, more than 60%, 61% of this amount of market cap, it's only belong to Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay? Because Bitcoin was the first one who provides this technology, okay? It was the novelty of the Bitcoin. After that, we had Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, many forks of Bitcoin, okay, which they don't have, to be honest, that much value as Bitcoin has. Then in other coins, they become like famous in those times. And then Ethereum, what was the novelty behind of Ethereum? It was the smart contract. And now we have the same talks and say, okay, we are Ethereum killer. The another one, the many projects, they talk about Ethereum killer. Bitcoin has many killers, none of them win. Ethereum has another, many Ethereum killer, but let's see what they can do. Okay, in terms of the, let's say, in terms of the money we saw in the market, let's say, the amount of money we have in hand, okay, and we can see in the form of the physical cash, okay, which is printed, okay, it is only 8% of the world currency exists as a physical cash. It means anytime government, Federal Reserve, or EU, or whoever is in charge, they decide to print money, even they do not need to physically print the money, okay? Just they need to put some money in circulation, okay? In the computer system as an electronic cash, they can put it, just they can add it. And we cannot understand how much money they are printing. But in, let's say, in blockchain, everything is visible. We can see all the transaction, who transfer money from which account to which account, okay? But if their wallets are not well known, we cannot understand who are the people behind. But of course, we can see the transaction. For most of the for most of the coins and tokens out there, except those they work based off the security, like in Monero, like a Zcash, we cannot see, okay, how much they are transferring. This is the amount of Bitcoin. I took a screenshot. It's a bit old. It's not for today price, but we can see, okay, the maximum supply of the Bitcoin it's 21 million. But it is not 21 million, it's 20, let's say 29,999 million, but they round it to be like a 21 million. Then the total supply is the number of the coin which everyone has it, as a part of it or the whole Bitcoin, okay? It means this amount of the money, people, they hold it in their wallet. Many of them they lost. They are expecting more than 2 million Bitcoin they lost. I'm one of the guys who lost a lot of Bitcoin because in the beginning we were not expecting price of Bitcoin will go that much high. Okay, Nabil talked about the Bitcoin halving, when the block reward every approximately 4 years gets half, okay? It started from 21 million in 2009, in 3rd January 2009 in the Genesis block, and the block for almost for 4 years was like 50, then it become, here we can see, then 25, then 12.5, and now we are here, okay? The last halving happened in 2022, and now the miners, they receive 6.25 as a block reward. Okay, what this chart will tell us, we have in one hand the Federal Reserve, the European Union, the Chinese government. They can print money as much as they want, okay? In the other hand, we have a Bitcoin, which every 4 years, the block rewards will get half and half and half and half, okay? That's why people, and they call Bitcoin as a deflationary asset. This is the main reason we call Bitcoin as a deflationary asset. What does it mean by inflation and deflation? It means in 1928, with the $20 of banknote, you could buy this amount of, let's say, goods. You could do your shopping. In 1996, it shrinked. In 2017, shrinked. In now with $20, almost you can just have one, like a 2 burger in the McDonald's, nothing more. But if we go for the Bitcoin, when it starts, it doesn't have any value. I was mining. I had a like a Dell Vostro laptop, and I was mining Bitcoin in that time. And I received many Bitcoin, and I said, but it doesn't have any value in the market, okay? And I was among those guys said, okay, this guy, this Satoshi, or whoever behind it just made it for game. I think there is a problem with my connection. Because it shows me, hold on. Can you see my slide?
Yeah, you can see your slide.
Because, okay, then I can. I mean, the other, do you able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
No, I mean
fluently.
the other students, not in the same network. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
No, it seems. Can you talk? I would just want to see, is it my system problem?
No, they can hear you as well.
I cannot hear them.
Sorry, guys. Hamid will connect again. Okay. Yeah, they could see you anyway and hear you.
Okay, now it's rejoin. Okay, now?
Okay, now you joined.
Share. Okay. So I have to share my screen again. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Just I disconnected and can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Can you see my screen as well? Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. This is I was talking about inflation, and I think they caught at me. Just kidding. Okay, and this is a story is really happening. If you have a 1 Bitcoin, people they talk about the $1 million for the worth of Bitcoin in the 2030. Okay, or even 10 million, and you see, okay, it is not possible. But since they can print more money, you can buy more Bitcoin. Okay, this is the rationale behind. I want to say one example, which it happened for me, and let's see on the chart. This is the Turkish lira. Okay, equivalency with €1. During the August, I was in Turkey, okay, and I was exchanging €1 for almost 10 lira, Turkish lira, or like a €1 for like a 9.5. It was the equivalency. It was the exchange rate was like that. And now we can see from the August time when I was in Turkey till now, the price of Turkish lira, it lost its value like a 51%. What does it mean? It means if I spend in Turkey like a €1,000 for that vacation, if now I go for the same vacation, okay, I have to spend like a €500. Okay, this is the inflation. But why in EU we cannot see that much increase over the time? Because the economy of Europe is strong. Okay, the economy of Turkey is not as strong as economy of Europe. Okay, this is the main reason. But you can see here from 2010, okay, how much is the difference between 2010? It was like a €1 was equal to 2.1 lira, and now is like a 15. It's like 7-8 times higher. Okay, this is the inflation, and this is exactly happening for everyone, because whenever governments see, okay, we don't have money, just they print. We need the money to pay for COVID, they just print more. And if you do it, it's a crime. But if government does, For them, they say it's not crime, it's our economy, okay? But in the end, as a result, is our bank balance as a saving for a long run for our pension, it shrink and shrink and shrink. Okay, but why attract my attention? It was the COVID. In the COVID, economy was going well. Then in March 2020, the economy for everything crashed, and now you can see with this new pandemic, with this new variation of the COVID, again markets are react and the price went down. Okay. One of the things it was for me really interesting, it was the price of US oil. It went to negative. What does it mean? You have an asset and the price of asset goes to negative. And it attracts my attention. Okay, for me it was not acceptable. Then I start to do my research. This one was published by, the source was the Bloomberg, BBC, and many of them they published. Okay, this one, and this one was on the BBC. We can see the price even went below zero. It was negative. Then, okay, this is the chart. If you go, there's a website, by the way. The chart I get, the data I get is from the Trading View. You can find all the data over there. Okay, you can see here in the chart, okay, the price, how deep it went in 2020. Okay, in the same time for Bitcoin, it went like minus 58%. When we say like a 60% down, it needs like 130, 140% increase to come in the same level. Then I start to my study and compare Bitcoin and crypto economy with the other commodities like gold, oil, and silver, and many things. Okay, here I did the same comparison for the Brent crude oil versus Bitcoin price. We can see more than 4 million% oil, okay, is losing its value against Bitcoin. I did the same study for Ethereum. For Ethereum, Ethereum in the beginning, it was not inflationary asset, okay? But now, because it changed something in their platform, now even Ethereum becomes inflationary asset. And we will see in the future the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum and those assets which they are inflationary, in compared to the other asset, always will increase and increase and increase. Okay, it's the price of Bitcoin from 2011. If we put this chart in this way, okay, as a not logarithmic scale, maybe we guess, okay, in the beginning Bitcoin didn't do that much, then it start. But we have to, since here we entered the mathematics, we have to scale this chart in a correct way and have a correct look on the price of Bitcoin. This is the same chart from the same source. This is a Bitstamp. Yeah, this is a Bitstamp. This is the monthly price of the Bitcoin. This one is just took it like 1 hour before this webinar. The price is like almost 57,000. Okay. When we put it here in a logarithmic scale, we can see how much it's increasing over the time. Okay. In the beginning, it was huge amount of benefit for those people. They bought here. I mean, let's say those Bitcoin believers, they bought Bitcoin here, and till here they have, I mean, even if you have one Bitcoin, you paid like a fraction of cent, and now it's worth like a 57,000. But where will be the end of this crypto? I don't know. No one knows, okay? Because this is the narrative. The narrative says Bitcoin is going high and higher, high. And many people, they call it as a bubble, okay? Like a tulip bubble in the Netherlands, okay? They call this is bubble. In a day, someone will just put the pin on it and it will explode. But this narrative is strong. And in the next slide, I will show you the comparison of the Bitcoin with the other assets. Let me check. Okay. Okay, what we are expecting to see in the end of this year or in the Q1 2022, somewhere around, we can find the top of Bitcoin, which it can goes all the way up around 200 to 300,000, and then Bitcoin will have this correction and will come back around this price. Now we have our even lower, like a 36,000. It depends to the many things. One of them is a market manipulation. Governments across the world, they understood, okay, people are interested and they start to ban Bitcoin in many countries, but still Bitcoin found its way, and many let's say young people especially, they would like to invest on Bitcoin. Okay, and this is the way the Bitcoin will go. And some people, they think, okay, where we can buy Bitcoin? Mainly for Bitcoin or any other crypto asset, you have some options, okay? One of them, and the easiest one, is the centralized exchanges like a Binance, like a Coinbase, like a Kraken, Huobi, KuCoin. These are the centralized exchange, which they provide conversion of the fiat money to crypto. This part is difficult for mass adoption, and it was, let's say, much difficult in the past. People, they didn't know how to let's say, how to convert their fiat money, euro, dollar, to the crypto assets. The first step then is centralized exchange, and the next one is when you enter to this let's say to this space, you have many other options like a decentralized exchange. Here, most of the transactions are anonymous, okay, like partially anonymous, okay. You can transfer your money among your, let's say, among your crypto addresses, and you can exchange your money between these exchanges. And these decentralized exchange, they this screenshot is for today. Just now I did it. They have like more than 100 billion. We call it as a total value locked TVL in dollar. It's locked in these platforms. If you want to just, this data are for 2018, but since just they want representing, I took this this slide. But just I want to show you how big is this the world global let's say global market. Bitcoin, it was in that time 213 billion, but market cap. But today, market cap of the Bitcoin is more than $1 trillion. This one just wants to compare the net worth of the Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and let's say the Apple stock and the other one. But in the next slide, I will show you the exact number, but this is just for representation. Okay, this is amount of the money we have in the world. The first one in the world is Chinese yuan, then American dollar, then euro. And then we can see in the rank 14 is Bitcoin. It means Bitcoin economy is as big as the global economy. If we go the next slide, we can see, okay, Bitcoin in 14 is bigger than Russian ruble. It's bigger than the economy of the Russia, bigger than economy of Saudi, because Saudi has a lot of oil resources, and bigger than economy of the Mexico. Mexico has a lot of land. Okay, we can see Bitcoin economy is bigger than economy of the many other countries. Also, the second thing interesting here is Ethereum. Ethereum is a, if you go and study about Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin found Ethereum, and it was the competitor of not, of course, Bitcoin. It was the first platform to run a smart contract. Now, the total money, let's say the money of the Ethereum is, the market cap of Ethereum is bigger than the Israel and shekel economy, bigger than the Swedish krona. Okay, we can see bigger than the UAE, the Emirates. Okay, which is huge, and this is it's a start in 2008, and then with Ethereum start in 2000, if I'm correct, in 2015, if I'm not correct for the year. This year, we saw the first country in the world, they accept Bitcoin as a legal tender. It means now Bitcoin is a currency, official legal currency in one country, which is the part of the United Nations. Okay, El Salvador is the first one in the world they accept Bitcoin as a legal tender, because in El Salvador they do not have their currency and they use a USD. Therefore, since they don't have, they decided to have alternative, which is the Bitcoin. Okay, and now you can see many news about about El Salvador with Bitcoin, because they are growing together. And the other countries, they put the small countries, mostly for the countries for South America, they consider Bitcoin to be alternative to their currency. Okay, let's in this slide just to see about the how big is the market cap of the Bitcoin. The biggest company in the world market cap is for Apple, okay, with this is the market cap, okay, with the market cap of $2.7 trillion, and the market cap of the Bitcoin is $1 trillion. Okay, Bitcoin almost is going to do the flipping with the Tesla, and very soon we can see with the Amazon. Okay, and but by the way, guys, Bitcoin doesn't have any centralized office. Bitcoin doesn't have any centralized company which behind of it. Okay, but all of these company, they have the centralized office, they have the CEO and people they know who is behind. Okay, but Bitcoin, it doesn't have these things. Bitcoin is going with the narrative, and the narrative is the inflation. Okay, here we can see of Ethereum is market cap is bigger than the JP Morgan, bigger than the Johnson & Johnson, okay, bigger than a Visa, the plastic card every day we use. All of the things I mentioned are not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm a researcher, just I'm sharing the result of my research with you. But just I took a screenshot from a website. You can see here in the link from the Glassdoor. The average salary for people in Italy is 28,000 euro. But what you can do with this money after taxation, okay, what you can do in terms of the in terms of your pension. In 5 years ago, if you only spend $1,000, it could reach today 1.3K. It means 1,300. It was not that much if you invested on a gold. If you invested on a Google, it could raise to 3 times. On Amazon, 4.8 times. If you invested on a Bitcoin, could reach to $148,000. If you invested on a Ethereum, it could raise 216,000. Okay, with only 1,000. And how much was the salary? 28,000. Okay, then I'm not suggesting you to do any investment. What I suggest here, just do your own research to understand how economy works, because this market is really, really young, and it has a lot of upside and downside. Look at this one. It has happened just days ago, and the market went down. We can see if you invest like last Saturday, Sunday, the price crashed like a -7% on Bitcoin, 8% on Ethereum, and the other coins, they crashed. Okay, then it is really dangerous. I show you the downside. If you do not know anything, this market in a fraction of hours can go down like a 20% correction. And to recover this 20%, you can see, we need a time, okay? And people, they will panic sell, and they will start to sell whatever they have. Then do your own research. If you found it interesting, there are plenty of social media, YouTube channels, they explain better than me, okay, on the YouTube. Just do your own research, because in this market, what you see mainly 2 things. You see FOMO. Oh, I lost it, okay, I lost this opportunity, where I can find the next opportunity. The another thing is a FOD, which now we are in a FOD, because those people, they bought in the, let's say in the last week, and now the price is in this situation, and now they have this FOD situation, and they don't know what they do. They lost like a -8, -10% of their value. But this is the psychology of the market. People, they start with the optimism, excitement, then they go to euphoria, and they say, okay, we are genius, let's buy more. Exactly, here is the top of the market, and those people, they bought here in the downside of the market, they will start to sell it, and then you will go down and down. The price will go down and down. You will go emotionally with your asset down and down in the capitulation, and then again they will start this one. Let's see the next slide, the real example. In 2017, when the price of the Bitcoin start, many people say, okay, Bitcoin dead, it will go to zero, it will not do anything. Price start, hopium, optimism, euphoria. Even here, I know many Bitcoiners, many maximalists, many people, they say, okay, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. But it was not a dip in that time. Then the Bitcoin crash, anger, capitulation. They start to sell and sell more, okay? And then again, Bitcoin in 2019 start after this long run. Here in a chart is easy. We can see it easy. Okay, it's nothing. But believe me, I'm in the market for a while. I know when the market crash, and you can see the value of your asset, which you start to dream. If it's raised with this much, I can buy a house, I can buy a car, I can buy a laptop, okay? It will go down and shrink, and you will lose your patience, and then you will sell your asset. That's the time the people, the real investor, they will buy and then have a look. okay, in the next time it was a disbelief, and then market was going down. Pandemic happened. People, they said here, almost here, they said Bitcoin will go to zero. And then here is Bitcoin start to recover, and it went to 33,000. And today price of the Bitcoin is 50, we saw it together, 50, 54, 57,000. And this deep, actually, here was a deep. It was in the top. 2018 was a top. People, they call it as a deep, but when we compare it with here, it was a deep. But look, in the Bitcoin, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of when, but not it's a matter of if. Okay. To conclude my presentation, first, in the first part, we saw about the blockchain and what is blockchain, what blockchain is doing. Then we saw about the definition of the asset, money, and how we can save the value of the asset with Bitcoin, with gold, of course. We saw some guy and the name, some group of people, pseudonym as a Satoshi in 2008. He invented the Bitcoin, and in 2009, he released his open source software. And then now we have a market which is mature, like 12 years, and we can see this crypto economy. What I can suggest, don't FOMO, don't FOD, just do your own research and buy or sell, but not with that amount of money which you are not willing to lose. Okay, if you are not willing to lose, then don't invest on it. Then it was okay that we can go for the question and answer. And thank you so much for your time. What I can suggest, just think different, not the way we thought in our life, okay, till now. Just think different, out of the box, to see what is more beneficial for you. I have a Telegram channel, which of course you can find it in this link, all of my Telegram group channels, Instagram, whatever. I start to provide some content in English as well. You can follow me if you would like. You can see what is my perspective, what is the new result of my research. I'm sharing mostly result of my research, and if you find it interesting, you can of course share it with your friends and colleagues. Thank you so much for your attention. I will close this
I have a
presentation.
question. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
How safe it is, as for your opinion, in your opinion, to keep, let's say, if I invest in some cryptocurrency, to keep it in an online exchange portal instead of keeping it like in those, I don't know how it's called, like cold keys,
wallet. Yeah,
cold storage. Yeah.
You for those one, we say if you don't have your key, it means you don't hold your wallet. You don't have your asset. Okay, then whatever you do not hold it with inside of your wallet, it is not your asset. In the exchanges, mainly, they have their your private key. Okay. Then you want to say they are not safe. They are safe. Okay. But is it your wallet? Is it your asset? Of course, it is not your asset. It is exactly like as a bank. Okay. Bank can get hacked. Of course they can. Okay. But exchanges, can they get hacked? Many of them in the history we can see, many of them it happened. Okay. But for you as a beginner, what I can suggest, you can start with a small amount of money, okay, just to keep it even in the exchanges, try to, with some crypto asset which they have a low transaction fee, to start to doing your research, okay, to transfer some money from exchanges to out of the exchanges to see how you can do it. When you become confident, okay, then just you will buy on an exchange and you transfer it to your own personal wallets. But in general, exchanges are not safe. This is the general recommendation.
But you mean only physical wallets, like with where you have the key?
No, physical. It's not only physical wallet. You can install it on your laptop. You can install it on your phone. Okay, whatever you would like, you can install it. You can buy a device, but as long as this the copy of your seed phrases is not online and it's not connected to internet, and you don't take a screenshot, you didn't write it down and pass it for a friend, it is safe.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. If there is more question.
Here is different way. Once you hold your private key.
You are muted, Nabil.
Sorry. No, I said as long as you hold the private key, so in principle, you have control. So, yeah, please, Stan, did you have a question?
Yes, I was just wondering that for sure you, both of you probably invested in these cryptocurrencies and also got some revenue out of them. If you get the real money out of the cryptocurrency, how do you deal with real taxes, let's say?
Hamid, do you want to answer?
Yeah, just let me unmute myself too. For the tax, I think if you can just mute yourself.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks. For the taxation, look, I should say now we are passing the gray time. It is not white, it is not black, okay? You must declare your taxation, okay? But we have different types of taxation. We have like a capital gain tax. We have the, let's say, the trading tax. Okay, it depends to which sort of earning you have. Okay, this taxation, it needs many regulatory. Okay, and for the moment, no one knows. If you go to fill your form for this Sette Trenta, okay, they say, okay, which one should I fill? Should I put it as my income? Should I put it because some coins you receive as an airdrop? That one, you don't want to receive it, but someone sent it for you. Is it taxable or no? Okay, this is still needs many regulatory. Okay, and for the moment here in Europe, as far as I know, is not a clear answer for this taxation. It's based off the trust, and if whatever you declare based off your earning, that they will count it as your tax.
Okay, so in case of the Sette Trenta, you have to declare it as a sort of income, and then based on everything, you will get a taxation on the overall.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Right. Yeah, and as I told you guys before, so if you are interested in any aspect that we sort of mentioned very briefly, whether technical or financial, you can come back to us. I mean, the goal is based on like the interest we see. We can organize more events or have hopefully face-to-face meetings as well. All right. Any other questions? Okay, so if not, I would like to thank Hamid first, and I would like to thank you guys for joining us. And yeah, I hope to see you soon in class, or we can meet for coffee and talk and chat about cryptos and about blockchain. So thank you again. Thank you very much for joining, and see you soon.
Thank you for the seminar.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing this knowledge.
Thank you, guys. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
All
Have a good time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye bye.